Welcome back to Mishna study. We're up to Masechet Peah, Perek Bet Mishnah Bet. In this Mishnah, we will continue with the discussion of what's considered one field versus two fields for Peah. So let's go. Amat hamayim she'ena yechola lihikatzer ke'ahat, Rabbi Yehuda omer mafseket. V'chol heharim asher b'ma'ader ya'aderun, אף על פי שאין הבקר יכול לעבור בחלב, הוא נותן פאה לכל. So firstly is amat hamayim, it's a water channel, right? That cannot be, you can't cut the field from both sides. So Harambam over here explains, you can't stand on one side of that water channel and cut the field on the other side, right? That is wide enough where we're going to say that it's considered two separate fields and you need to give two separate peot. Parenthetically, Rabbeinu Awadiah Bartinura explains differently. He explains that you have to stand in the middle and cut it from both sides. And then if you can't reach from the middle, then it would be considered two separate fields. Harambam, you need to say if you can't reach from one side to the next, then it would be considered two separate fields. Now, so that's according to the Yehuda, that's considered hefsek. Now, this is a pasuk from Yeshayahu, speaking about the times of a prophecy for the times of Hizkiah Melech. Now, it's debatable whether this is something positive or negative. I would say over here we're talking about all the mountains. Asher b'ma'ader ya'aderun, I say the most pshat over here is probably saying that with a ma'ader, with yani the shovel or with the hoe, right, you'll be able to plow those fields. Harambam though takes a very different approach, and he brings two perushim over here, and that is the ma'ader is the land itself. So Harambam is explaining, "V'chol he'arim asher b'ma'ader ya'aderun," right? All the hills that are in this ma'ader. What's this ma'ader? So the first pirush he brings, and that's of one that was passed down to him from the Kadmonim. It's a hard rock area, or I would say a very tough land that the cattle can't plow through with their regular plow. But what can you use? You can use a kli barzel. You can use iron, iron plow itself, shovel to actually dig out yourself. And that's what we're saying over here. Even though you can't typically plow this in the normal fashion, because you can do it alternatively with a iron plow with your hand, with a shovel with your hand. Therefore, we're going to consider this as one field, right? You could give one field, one pe'ah for it, because someone that comes will know that it's considered, this is really one field. That's the first perush Rambam brings of the Kadmonim. And then he goes, right? We don't get this so often, right? He actually said, I'm going to bring my own pirush over here. And I'm going to say that this place that we're calling the Ma'ader is what? It's not a flat land, rather it's a hilly land. And that's why we're saying all the hills in this hilly land, meaning it goes up, it goes down. So it's very hard for the cattle to plow because it's not a flat land. Therefore, because you're going up and down, we would need to plow this piece by piece. And we could have thought that we should treat it as two separate fields because we need to plow piece by piece. But the Mishnah is teaching us that we give one peah for all this, right? So to sum this up, the first part of the Mishnah speaks about the water channel. As long, according to halacha, is like Rabbi Yehuda, as long as you can stand on one side of the water channel, reach the other side. If you could reach, it's considered one peah, and you give one pe'ah for that field. Similarly, if you have a hilly land, right, where you need to plow it piece by piece, you could have thought that this would be two separate fields, but because someone that comes will see that it's hilly, they understand that the only reason you're not plowing in between is because it's a little hard to get to, but they do understand that it's one field, and therefore you give one pe'ah for the entire field. That sums up our Mishnah.